Hey, what's going on, co-creators? It's King JM 1111, episode 3? Question mark. So, yeah, I'm right here and this is episode 3 and it's basically my reaction to episode 2, which is the QHHT session that I had on February 23rd, 2018. So, let me begin. You probably heard episode 2. If you did not hear episode 2, go ahead and listen to episode 2. I have it on YouTube. I even paid this really cute girl to do an intro for it, so it's got a little bit of production value. I paid for someone to transcribe it because it's about 2 hours, give or take, and I didn't want to kind of mess that up, so I had a professional kind of help me on that. I put together like a PDF that you can download in the description. It is basically like a PDF of like the events, like the intro to the session, a little bit about what QHHT is. It also has some poems, some writings, some thoughts, and some art that I've made since February 23rd, 2018. So just for some context, if you listen to this in the future, this is actually today's March 29th. 2018. So it's taken me about a month to dissect everything. I feel like I'm still far away from it. There's so much involved in what I discovered and kind of what I was saying in my recording and what happened next. This is what that is, like the next part of that. So on February 23rd at 9 a.m. I showed up to the practitioner's house, and she kind of interviewed me on, my life, why I wanted to do this. And I had a series of questions that I wanted to ask my higher self as well. And she kind of just reviewed them with me. Probably about an hour, maybe I think we began like at 10:30 or something like that. We began the actual hypnosis. So like what happens is like they kind of put you like in the relaxation mode on a chair. And I kind of went through that. Once I was relaxed, which was actually really fast, to be honest with you, I was relaxed within like 5 minutes, I believe. Like it just felt like I was just like naturally relaxed, which was really creepy because I was thinking to myself, like, is this good or is this bad that I was just so relaxed? But I will say that you're actually not under any kind of like channeling, or you're not like doing any of that stuff. You actually feel yourself, your whole like existence is there. Like you have awareness of everything. So if anybody's thinking of doing this, it's not so nefarious like other people probably tell you, like that you're channeling something or not. You're not doing any of that. You're not a medium. You're just really just kind of like talking through yourself, your inner self, like your higher version of you. So once the questions were approved and all that, I sat in the chair and I started getting really relaxed. And considering I was at a stranger's house on like a stranger's like property, it was kind of weird, but I did that really quick. And then what I could say to that was I felt like comfortable that I chose her, so that's probably what helped. So if you're looking to do this, you really got to do your research. I actually just went off the vibe that this was the only person I would work with, just off a vibe. And she was just 10 minutes away from my house, which is really creepy because I live like in a very like I live out west in a major city. So she was actually like out west in a major city as well. So to give you some context, it's like if you live in New York, you live like maybe in like the Manhattan area, and you find someone like near Manhattan that could do this. So that's kind of what my context here would be. The next thing, so once I was fully like I would say like kind of like fully hypnotized, I was able to transfer myself over to the bed. So the bed is kind of what you see like in the Alice & Co., the Alba Wyman videos where there's people on beds and they're talking. That's where I came to now. And I believe that was probably like at 11:30ish or 11ish. I'm not really sure on the times, but this is going to come relevant later. So I'm sitting down, and I don't want to ruin it for you because if you listen to episode 2 or you haven't listened to episode 2, which is the session, I don't want to ruin so much for you. But I start describing based on her first question to me was she tells me kind of like describe what you see, like describe the life that you're in right now. So I start describing my life, and at first I think I'm bullshitting, to be honest with you. I think it's all bullshit, and I don't know why I'm just talking, like I'm just going with the flow, I'm just making up some shit. Well, I kind of describe like a waterfall, but I'm really fixated on this in my vision. So I kind of describe this waterfall and that it's crystal and this and that. And I don't know where I'm going. Honestly to God, I mean, you guys can discern me all you want. And that's kind of like my disclaimer for everything. It's even on the PDF that you can find attached here. I'm not doing this for anything. Like, I'm not doing this for money, fame, attention, nothing. I'm just telling you what I went through. It could be bullshit. I don't know. But whatever. Like, this is just kind of like something that's interesting to me. And I know a lot of people have asked questions about this. So I kind of wanted to give somebody like the opportunity to come, check out my story. And you can definitely contact me. All my information's in the PDF. So anyway, so I'm sitting there talking about a jungle. It's talking about a waterfall and being a Neanderthal. And as I progress, I actually talk about a lady that lives there with me. And I later reference her as like Eve, because I don't know anybody else that's in that sphere or in that bubble that's with me. And one of my initial reactions were that we were put there, like as an experiment or something, because it's not normal that just her and I are there. So it's just me and her. And as we continue to go, we start learning about their lives. I would say for now, let's just call them Adam and Eve, because that's the only thing we can all reference to. But at first, there's like a lot of turmoil. Like there's a back and forth between her and him. And it's just like a lot of like dysfunction almost. Like they don't truly get along, but they do. It's like very, very interesting. The dynamic is all I can say. So the next part of that is, let me fast forward to when the guy, which is myself, he comes to like a very heroic moment in the story. He finally finds like the courage to ask questions, right? And his question is, why are we here? The typical Plato, the existential questions, and all of a sudden there's a crack in the sphere that they live in, right? And through that crack comes a phoenix. So a phoenix comes down, and basically the phoenix comes in heroic and is talking about, there's more on the other side. You guys can come with me, both of you. I'm here to kind of like just tell you, I'm not here to against your will to take you. You have to make that decision. So then what happens is, I don't want to ruin that part, so listen to the story. But that phoenix is actually related to me in terms of when I live my life now, and so is Eve. So those two people have lived with me in the past, and they live with me in this current life right now. I just won't name them. The whole transcription part and the part of the video is only part 1. Part 2, I don't know if I'll ever release it. It's very personal, and I don't know yet. But all I'm going to say is that there is a phoenix that comes in and takes the man, which is myself, through the crack. So now we're flying through the crack on this phoenix, and all of a sudden, like, I start gaining knowledge. Like, it's just like a bunch of knowledge. Gnosis comes in. I see the universe. I had never been taught any of that. So now I'm questioning things more. And basically what happens next is that I come back to save Eve or whatever, or to kind of like invite her up with me. And that's the part that we try to get to, is the part that we have to understand that these sessions are therapeutic, whether it's real or bullshit. I don't know. I'm not really 100% on the fence I'm on the fence on both sides, but I will say it felt very therapeutic. So let me just close out my reaction with a couple highlights. One, it was therapeutic. I came out really relaxed, and I think that there's some value in that. So if you're thinking of doing it, just know that you're going to come out relaxed, and anything else is like a cherry on the top. Number 2, I've previously met my higher self, and I've spoken to my higher self through dreams, microdosing, a lot of like interesting things. So that person was not new to me when I was asking questions to that person. So that could be the difference between what I was going through and someone else. So I'm like at a different level, a different stage of my spiritual journey. So if you're at the very beginning, it might seem way different than what I went through. Another thing I noticed is that we started like around 10 a.m., 11 a.m., like I mentioned. We finished the session, I shit you not, about 3 o'clock. So there was a huge time lapse, like just that went on that I didn't even feel. I remember at one point when I woke up at the end, I was drenched in sweat because I was under these blankets in a warm room. And the regular me would have said something. Like the regular me would have been like I can't stand like being hot. Like I can't stand heat. Like if I sweat, it annoys the shit out of me. So basically, for being on that session for 2.5 hours without saying anything, that in itself is a story. So I do come out of that. It was very simple, to be honest with you. There was some things in there that, were kind of crazy. Like there was like 2 entities that were in me that had to be kind of almost exorcised, which I'm making it out to be very dramatic. But like if you listen to the audio and the transcript, it wasn't as scary as it might be like come off right now. That happened. There's a lot of connections with, I want to say like there was definitely some information that was coming to me about the new earth and all this stuff, which I'm not 100% on board with, simply for the fact that it's like I think of it like building a better prison cell, like that's how I see the new earth. But I'm very like open to everything, so I'm not sitting there judging things. I'm sitting there just kind of analyzing, and that's one thing that I am. I'm an observer. I'm not a judgmental, critical person in that aspect. So if I'm shown something, I'm really gonna try my best to kind of see what that might be. So this is what you're gonna get off listening to episode 2, which is essentially like the session in itself, and in following the transcription. Because I'm not gonna lie, like there's times where you can't even understand because of the volume. There's like some kind of issue with the volume, and there might be issues with a language barrier because my practitioner is not fluent 100% in English, even though she does speak it. So I kind of want everybody to follow along and kind of decipher and use this information for yourself. So other than that, I don't want to ruin too much of that, because I feel like I would if you just listen to episode 3, which is this one all throughout. I kind of want you to go back to 2 and kind of make your own assumptions and kind of like discern everything I'm saying, because I have no idea where 99.9% of that came out. It was like a freestyle session, and that's kind of what you're getting. If you're going to do this, you're going to get a freestyle session, because you just start talking about something and you just continuously go on and on and on. The last thing that I want to say to close this out, I think that I said some shit on there that was, pretty real to me in terms of helping me. And maybe you're not listening to that in part 1. Maybe that's in part 2. That whatever it is, I feel like there was value in this because I kind of said some real shit. And sometimes real shit is kind of what you need. And I'm a real ass person, but it was nice and refreshing to hear that under hypnosis, I was still a real ass motherfucker. So you got to understand that whatever you're paying to do this, like the version of you that has been with you for so long in different lives is going to appear, and you love that person because that person trusts me on this. That person loves you, and that's kind of how it goes. I felt a good vibe that, I learned a lot. I said a lot of amazing information. Like I drop information about Saturn, my higher self at the end. The last part of the video drops a clue about something being in Antarctica, like a big claw. I still haven't researched that, but that's what he said. That's what she said. And that's pretty much it. You can just check everything out. Everything is there, transcribed. There's a story, there's some poems that get you in the mood before you read it. This is a lot of information, but my background is marketing and content management and content creation, and I really wanted to create something that was easy to digest. It's not boring, and it's entertaining, but at the same time highly educational for those that are on the fence about whether doing a QHHT session or not, or just on the fence about life. Like I've been through this journey. It's about a couple years in. So I'm high up where I believe I am, even though I'm not very far. I feel like I am high up, but not very far. So if you need anything, go out and reach out to me. My information is everywhere. That the PDF and the description is also going to have it. So yeah, so that was my reaction. My reaction was like, yeah, I was impressed. It was worth the time and the money. It was an experience for sure. If you're on the fence about it, just get to know yourself, your higher version of yourself before. That way you're not so shocked about what you're going to listen to. If you do it and you feel like it is bullshit, then it is what it is. You had a great time. You relaxed. It's a bucket list thing. You move on. The final note here is that I have to do this. Like, I have to televise. Like, I have to YouTube this. I have to do this. I didn't want to. Like, I'm a very behind the scenes, low key person. I love my life. I have a great life, period. But part of this session said I have to do this. I have to put this out. Even if 1 or 2 people listen to it, which I'm not even certain 1 or 2 people may even get to this video. But I feel like that 1 or 2 people that are gonna listen to this, whether it's episode 3, 2, 1, it's gonna resonate with them, and they are the ones that are like part of a puzzle piece, like a fractal or something that we gotta connect with each other. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Like, the reason I'm doing this is because I was told to do this, that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, very small number of people, will actually take what I'm saying and it's going to help them a lot. Now, if 99.9% of the people want to dislike the video or talk shit, it is what it is. I have to accept that. I'm not here for them. I'm here for like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that this is going to truly awaken and help. So that's my thing. If you have any questions, description, subscribe if you can. I'll keep it coming. I got more videos that I'm going to interview other people. So let's make this fun, educational. As always, discern me. I love you guys. Spread that love. Don't be an asshole. That's my mantra. Don't be a dick. Peace out.